All right, Kate. Eric Church. This is a country person, right? Country music. Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, so are you aware of what he's doing?
I am. I'm such an Eric Church fan, but what you're about to say, I don't think I'm an Eric Church fan.
Yeah, so he cancels a concert so that he can go to the Final Four.
Yep.
And let's see his quote. This Saturday, he wrote a message to his fans. This Saturday, my family and I are going to stand together to cheer on the Tar Heels as the team has made it to the Final Four. As a lifelong Carolina basketball fan, I've watched Carolina and Duke battle over the year, but to have them match up in the Final Four for the first time in the history of the NCAA tournament is any sports enthusiast's dream. This is also the most selfish thing I've ever asked the choir to do. Give up your Saturday night plans with us so that I can have this moment with my family and sports community.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls him the choir because his last name's Church? That's what he calls his fans?
Yeah, that's their fan base. Church choir.
Okay. I don't know if I've heard of such a cancellation before.
Well, and not just for anyone who doesn't know, there was a little typo in what you read.
Yes.
It was over the years and not just over this year that it's been super dramatic because Duke's coach is retiring at the end of the year and there's the big blow up in the ACC tournament where there's a big blow up for Coach K's final game at Duke was against North Carolina and North Carolina blew them out. And Eric Church is a big Tar Heel fan. He's been at football games. He's performed. He's gone to basketball games. But the part that I think bothers me the most where he's like, I'm going to stand together with my family. You are not going to like a religious or moral obligation rally where you're trying better humankind. I think it's terribly unfair for his fans who have been planning for months for this Saturday night.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I just think it's part of the deal, Eric. This is what you have to give up when you have a concert on a Saturday night during basketball season. I know nobody thought your Tar Heels would be in the Final Four, but here we are. You have a job to do in San Antonio. You tell your whole crew, nobody tell me the results, and then you get on your tour bus, and then you watch it on your DVR.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed.
I figured so. For the unfamiliar, Kate, you're a country music fan.
I am a country music fan. I'm also a college basketball fan. And I know nobody saw North Carolina making it to the Final Four. And it's up against Duke. So I just, you have an obligation. You signed up to do the concert. I mean, think of how many tickets he sold.
Oh, man. It's at the AT&T Center in San Antonio. So I assume that's like the size of the T-Mobile Center. I nearly had a stroke trying to prevent myself from saying Sprint Center right there.
Right.
So it's probably maybe 20,000 people that he canceled on. Do you know?
I was going to say 20,000 people.
That is the number?
Ballpark, 20,000. Yeah.
Brutal.
20,000 people. And here's the other thing. If I'm going to be selfish like this, I'm going to be like, I'm refunding all tickets, or when I come back, I'm going to do something special, something to sweeten the deal. Something to make it like, oh, okay, so he's canceling, but at least he's going to take care of us. You know what I mean?
Right, but there's nothing there. Like they get refunds, I guess, is maybe the best that they get.
I guess refund, but I don't know if he rescheduled the show. I think I'd be pissed off enough to be like, I'm not going. Even if he's planning on playing for 15 hours.
Especially with it being, really doesn't matter what day of the week, but Saturday night.
Yeah. And you think of all those little venues that was like, oh my gosh, we would have loved to have him on like a Saturday night, but we can't because we're too little. They get to go to like San Antonio on Saturday nights and, oh, just kidding. Gonna go to New Orleans. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in Eric Church because I really do like Eric Church.
Is that okay? Yeah. I don't know too much about him. I reckon I know his name and I know that he's one of the bigger country music stars, right?
He is. He's a very talented singer-songwriter, and he writes a lot of songs for other people in country music too. So,
and then he's like, I want to go to a sports game instead. Later, losers.
Right. It's not out of his character. It's not like he's all of a sudden jumping on the North Carolina bandwagon. It's not all of a sudden that he's into sports. So I'm not completely shocked, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, you were in charge of your scheduling. You could have said, hey, Final Four, don't put me on this date.
Right.
Maybe that's his lesson he learns moving forward.
Don't perform.
Find out the Final Four. Don't play the shows that weekend, just in case
right.
your team is in there.
And yeah, North Carolina historically does pretty good in the tournament.
Yeah, it's like the Final Four is talk about the blue bloods of college basketball. Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, and Villanova wouldn't be typically called a blue blood, but they've been to the Final Four like 3 times in the last 5 years, maybe.
Yeah, so they may be inducted into blue blood.
They may be.
Inducted.
But they don't play anybody during the season. That's what makes me mad. But they still win. So that's why I think Gonzaga hasn't won it yet, because their strength of schedule is never very strong. And then they come to the tournament and then they lose.
They haven't been tested. They've gotten really close, though.
Yeah, they have. But they were the number 1 overall seed a couple of times, and womp womp.
Womp womp. Yeah.
Womp womp. Yeah.
So for any of the Matt and Kate listeners who had Saturday night plans to go to San Antonio to watch Eric Church, sorry, he's going to go watch a basketball game instead.
Yep. Lame.
All right, Kate, there is a town in the middle of Kansas that is welcoming spaceships. Yeah.
Okay.
This is in Rice County, and the name of the town is Geneseo?
Geneseo.
Geneseo. Thank you, Kate. You familiar? Have you been?
I am. Mm-hmm.
Population 200.
Yep. Drive right through.
And then right there at the City Museum, spaceships welcome.
Does Geneseo, have they had any crop circles? Is that why they're welcoming spaceships?
It doesn't say here. It says, let's see, a movement underway to name the town the UFO capital of Kansas, and perhaps even host a special global event on July 2nd, World UFO Day.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, there's evidence of otherworldly visitors in a new permanent exhibit there. So they've got various different paraphernalia, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that they have a city museum.
That is, yeah, very quaint for a population of 200.
Yes. Way to go, Geneseo. I mean, what's going to happen when the spaceships come? Do they roll out the red carpet? I mean, do they have lodgings available or?
That's a good point. Reminds me of Mars Attacks. Did you ever watch that?
A long time ago. Is that the one with Tim Allen?
I don't think Tim Allen. I don't think so. Jack Nicholson's in it.
Oh, okay.
And there's the part where the aliens show up and they're like, oh, they come in peace. And the dude releases the dove and then
they zap it, right?
The Martian turns and zaps it out of the sky. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. The museum first opened in 1960. So there was this guy named Elmer Jansen.
Of course, there's a guy named Elmer.
Yeah. So apparently he's been the one collecting stuff. Died in 1977. He donated his house and collection to the city of Geneseo. Geneseo. We call him Doc Jansen, and he was very interested in everything Geneseo. He collected all kinds of early histories. But he was also a minister, and he had a belief the future could be seen in the scriptures. So further to think about alien life, because it's in the scripture somewhere.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
Well, good old Doc. R.I.P. I wonder if he's had the foil caps and everything.
I don't know. It seems like to me he was wanting to welcome the visitors into his mind, maybe.
True.
You know?
True.
Do you look forward to aliens potentially landing on the planet, Kate?
I am curious.
Doesn't it seem like they'd be a lot smarter than us?
Yeah.
If they're able to make it to our house before we're able to make it to their house?
Yeah.
And maybe they're communicating telepathically into our brains or something?
Do you remember the movie Signs?
I do. That's an M. Night Shyamalan one, right?
Yes. That was a good one. That one definitely had the thriller for me.
That was one of his good ones.
That was as good. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that and Sixth Sense, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, things got a little bit weirder than normal.
Yeah, The Village did scare the bejesus out of me, but in Signs, like, you think about it, you're like, oh my gosh, aliens are so smart. And then they came here and then, spoiler alert, they're allergic to water. Like, that is that really? I mean, most of our planet is water, so...
I think they'd suit up.
Head to the crop circles.
Yeah. One would think you would suit up, put on a thing.
Right.
But maybe they're from some planet where there wasn't water?
Maybe.
And so they thought, oh, look at that blue surface on that planet.
Let's check it out.
Instead of thinking it's 80% water or whatever the number is.
Good old aliens.
So anyway, if you want to welcome the aliens, maybe you take a road trip to the middle of Kansas to a town called Geneseo.
Yeah, but what's their title? They
want to be known as the UFO capital of Kansas.
The UFO capital of Kansas, Geneseo. This summer, road trip.
I appreciate the fact that they're not so ambitious to want to be, or not be so greedy, I should say, that they feel the need to be the UFO capital of the United States or the world.
Right.
It's nice that they maintain that small town perspective.
Right. Just head west.
It's a beautiful drive.
Yep. It's not western Kansas, central Kansas. But
Right.
Yeah.
But not much west of there, yeah, is when things get weird. Or not weird. Desolate.
Boring.
And boring. Yeah.
Yeah. Just get on Highway 4 and head west.
Look at that. Kate is the expert at getting to Geneseo.
Yep. Don't blink, you'll miss it. Matt, Cinnamon Toast Crunch Crocs are coming your way.
About time.
I know, right?
Yeah. Okay. Go on.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch Crocs.
That's tough to say.
They're tan and white. They have cereal bowl pins on them. And guess what?
What?
They smell like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I was curious if maybe you could lick them and they would taste like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I was going to say that as a joke, but
right.
They actually do smell like it, huh?
I feel like you should say they smell like Cinnamon Toast Crunch when you purchase them, and after the first time you wear them, it's gone.
I was going to say...
It's not going to last.
Yeah, don't use these as your shower sandals.
Right?
Don't wear them into the ocean or the lake this summer. No.
I don't know that I've ever wanted shoes to smell like food, though.
No?
I've wanted shoes to not smell like dirty feet before, but that's after they've been on my feet. I do love when you get a brand new pair of tennis shoes, though. And I don't smell the inside of the tennis shoes because you don't know who's tried them on, but I smell the top of the shoes.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Of course you do.
I love new shoe smell.
You smell everything.
I do. I'm a smeller. I'm a smeller, and I just found out there's a game, like a board game, where you can smell things and try to guess what they are. And they're kind of like the scratch and sniff stickers that we had.
Okay, yeah.
Let me see if I can get the name of it. But there's some cards. Okay, what's that smell board game? Some of the cards actually come in a package because they are so bad.
Oh, so you've got to remove them during the game time, I guess?
Yeah.
Like their own little personalized cases, or are these one-time use?
No, like their own personalized little plastic bag. Like you could still smell BO through the card or through the back. It's gross. But I kind of want to buy it.
So you use the card and then you put it back into the thing?
I think the person has to have their eyes closed and someone has to put the smelly card under their nose and they have to try to guess which smell it is, knowing that it's going to be something disgusting. But there were some cards in there that were like pumpkin pie and Christmas trees and peaches, and it's kind of a cool game, but the ones that stink really stink.
So you have tried it, or you're just going off of...
No, I smelled some of the cards last night, actually. I was at a friend's house.
Oh, really?
And they had this board game. Yeah.
Oh, what a coincidence.
I know.
You're on Cinnamon Toast Crunch Croc Day.
Right. Do you think that's the future of footwear, though, to make it smell like food?
Seems like it, yeah. Or if they could, I bet eventually they get to the technology where maybe gross feet activate a different smell. Like you mentioned, that new shoe smell is pretty delightful. But then, it quickly turns into foot smell. Although I haven't smelled my shoes in a while.
So the technology once it starts to get soiled, it activates the cinnamon toast crunch smell.
Yes.
So instead of having stinky feet shoes, you've got milky cereal with cinnamon shoes.
That's what I'm thinking. Eventually, the technology has to get there where there's one component of the shoe that activates when foot sweat hits it, and then boom, you get a delightful smell instead.
And then there it is.
Do you smell your shoes, Kate?
All the time.
Do you really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
I thought you were messing with me at first.
Nope. All the time.
What do you decide to... So you smell them and then decide whether to deodorize them, or you throw them in the trash?
Yes. Or do I need to spray them with my Tide Febreze? Or do I need to store them in the garage when I'm not wearing them? Or do I need to throw them away?
You could set them in the sun, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
That might do it, especially if they're white. Get them a little bit natural bleached action there.
I did just buy a pair of white shoes, like the Converse white low tops.
So they're all white?
Yep, scared to wear them.
I don't blame you.
Yep.
When do you envision wearing them? When there's rain nowhere in the forecast, or?
Yeah, when I don't have to go in the grass for anything.
It'll be your house shoes.
Right.
Great. Yeah, I don't smell my shoes.
Do you smell your socks when you take them off your feet?
Well, not when I take them off, but if I need to do a load of laundry, like if I want my wool socks, for example, and I'm like, I don't have any clean wool socks, I'll give them a sniff at that point in time. Check the dirty laundry and be like, especially wool socks breathe pretty well. I haven't noticed them being stinky.
Okay.
But that's the situation in which I might smell my socks. How about you?
Not usually, but Monty is definitely a sniffer after he takes his socks off. Gives them a smell, throws them in the hamper.
Does he go, oh yeah, that's the stuff?
No, it's just like, what are you trying to, are you trying to use them for another day? And he's like, no. I said, then why are you smelling? He was like, I just want to know how bad it is and throw them in the hamper. I'm like, is it bad? And he's like, not that bad. I'm like, okay.
I suppose if your soiled socks normally smell like one thing, and then on a different day they smell like another thing, you need to, maybe you've got some kind of ailments, or you need to adjust your diet or something.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But that's not why, probably.
No.
Okay.
No, and maybe I'm contagious and I got him sniffing things like his socks.
Could be.
Yeah. I do like to smell things.
Yeah. I don't get it. What if you go into a restroom where someone just blew it up?
I don't like to smell things.
Okay.
I do have a very sensitive nose, though. And I didn't used to. And then after I was pregnant with my first daughter, I feel like my senses changed. They say when you're pregnant, your senses are heightened dramatically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right here.
Yeah. And I thought it would go away when I was not pregnant anymore. But no, I definitely have a sensitive sniffer.
You're a super smeller.
Super smeller. Yeah. So as much as I do smell things that I want to smell, I also smell things that I don't want to smell.
Is that right?
Yeah. Like wake me up in the middle of the night.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got that new puppy that defecates on the floor.
That's not what I'm talking about, but yeah.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about my sweet, sweet husband.
Oh, too many beans.
Maybe that's it.
Okay.
Yep. I won't hear it, but I'll wake up to it.
Does he do it consciously?
I don't think so.
Okay. Has he ever pulled the sheets over your head and then done it?
Dutch oven? No.
Yeah, Dutch oven. Thank you.
No.
Aw.
I know. What a guy.
Or maybe that's a sign that your relationship's in trouble.
Well, I would think so. But sometimes, I'll punch him in the middle of the night. He's like, what? I'm like, you farted. And he's like, I'm sorry.
Does he need to get on the can before going to bed or what?
No, he's a gassy man. It's fine. It wakes me up. He's a sweet man. Sweet, sweet man.
The way you said that, though, makes it sound like you were pleased to be woken up, but that's not the case.
No, not at all. I just feel bad that I'm kind of calling him out for waking me up in the middle of the night through no fault of his own. Just human nature.
You don't think it's his diet? Any chance he can modify his diet?
I don't know.
Okay. I have a friend who has such potent gas that you can gag when you're outside. That's how bad it is. If he rips one when you're outside, it's pretty rough.
Whoa.
I don't recommend it.
I don't recommend it.
Don't try it at home. Yeah. Don't recommend being downwind. No.
Nope. Do you guys call him Pumbaa?
No. That is a good line from The Lion King, though.
Yeah. Be the warthog that stinks.
I should start calling him Pumbaa. Maybe that would shame him into stop ripping so much ass around us.
Hold it in, man. Hold it in. Matt, did you hear about Johnny's in Lawrence getting a $50,000 tip?
I have not. No.
Last weekend, there was a TikToker known as the Serial Tipper. She's been asking her followers to donate money to her Venmo account, and she raised $50,000 over the years. And on Sunday, when KU was playing to go into the Final Four, she went into Johnny's and she dropped a $50,000 tip for 40 staffers.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And
they're going to split it evenly. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's like $1,000 a person plus.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Johnny's. I haven't been there in a while. Pretty good pizza.
I haven't been there in a long time either.
I'm thinking the right place, right? They got pretty good pizza.
Yeah, they have good wings too.
Yeah, they're on the north side of town in Lawrence.
But here's the thing. I've worked in the food service. I think even if somebody dropped a giant tip, they probably wouldn't split it evenly with me because they're like, nah, you're not that good.
Your servers wouldn't? Your coworkers?
Maybe. I don't know.
Right.
I did not enjoy waiting tables. I preferred to bartend. Waiting tables during the lunch hour, it's hard.
Yeah, I'm mostly familiar with you as a bartender. How long were you a server?
Not near as long. Bartending was my primary job at this restaurant, but there was a couple of days that I waited tables during the lunch hour. Yep. In the West Bottoms, KCK. Whoop, whoop.
I was waiting for the whoop, whoop.
Yep.
Why did you not enjoy it, do you think?
It was hard. It was difficult.
People yell at you?
No. And I never dropped a plate either.
Nice.
I had people who were annoyed that I didn't split the check.
They asked you to split the check and then you refused?
No, I didn't refuse. I did it after they asked me to, but they were annoyed that I didn't assume.
Oh. Well, you know what happens when you assume.
I know.
Sue you or something.
No, and I never had anybody get really mad at me. I had people get annoyed that they didn't get their giant tumbler of pop refilled a couple of times, but
yeah, you weren't on it, huh?
No, I was also I could carry maybe 4 plates at a time. After that, I had to make another trip. Sorry.
When you're bringing the food out?
Yeah.
You couldn't line them up both your arms?
Not both my arms. I could only do one of my arms. Yeah. Yep. Not that talented. I'd rather stand behind the bar and just sling beers and pops.
Now, you indicate maybe you weren't the best server. Is that what you're indicating?
Yeah.
Okay. How were tips?
They were okay.
Okay.
I mean, they weren't terrible.
Yeah, because there are plenty of people that don't tip at all.
Ugh.
Right? They're like, you're paid to do your job.
Right.
And it's like, well, yeah, $2.50 an hour or something.
$2 an hour. Yeah.
So I was curious, what percent of people do that? I'm not sure if I've seen this study before.
I don't know that I've ever been stiffed. I don't think I've ever been no tip at all. I had lots of change a couple of times from the same repeat person.
As in enough that it was still a 20% or 15% or whatever tip?
$3 and change.
They bring their jar in and dump out a bunch of pennies?
Not
dimes?
There were pennies, but it wasn't like $1 in pennies.
Well, that was courteous.
It was mostly silver, like nickels and dimes and quarters, but Yeah, I felt bad for them. After like the first 2 times of getting annoyed, I was like, you know what? They're doing what they can. At least they're not stiffing me. I also wondered if that person was mentally ill, but that's okay.
Oh, okay. Would you make change then at the register? Or make reverse change, I guess?
No, I tried not to do that to my bartender if I was tipping out.
Take all of their ones?
Yeah.
Probably
I try not to do that.
You're so courteous, Kate.
I don't know. If as a bartender, I would have hated that. So I was trying not to do that to the other bartender.
I see. You would rotate in and out of the bartender position?
Yeah, I'd wait tables like 2 times a week and bartend 3 days a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At least you did that more than you did serving, since you didn't like serving, but...
Yeah.
Seems difficult to me.
I also think everyone should work in food service at some point in their life. Like, I will definitely want my daughters to work in the restaurant business in some form. I do.
Okay.
I think that will make them much better customers and patrons.
Yeah.
In their life.
I worked at McDonald's. Does that count?
I think so. That deals with people and customer service and how to handle those situations. I think that probably has made you a better restaurant attendee because you know what's happening in the kitchen. You know what's happening. Like,
right.
You don't rip into a cashier because your order is wrong. The cashier didn't make your food.
Right. And I've worked in retail as well. I think both those industries, brutal for the customer service skills they require.
That was something I've never done. I've never done retail.
Well, come on, Kate, get out there.
Well, I'm past it now, so no thanks.
What, you think you're too old for retail?
Yeah. I even think about it during Christmas season, like, okay, here's some way to, help out a business during the busy season, and I can make some money too. I'm like, I really don't want to work nights. I don't want to work weekends. Holidays, no thanks. I'm out. Too old for it.
More couch time.
Yep. More time with my fam. More time chauffeuring kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I think about the idea of working a second, it's like, I can work a second job and get some scratch. I don't even think I make my way through that thought before I'm like, no, come on. Cut it out.
Right.
Stop thinking.
Right.
You're thinking too much.
Yeah. No, none of that.